How are you doing this morning?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm doing good. We have nice sunny weather down here in Kentucky, but you guys have just gotten blasted with snow, haven't you, up where you're at?
Actually, I am the opposite side of New York. So it is 42 degrees right now and sunny.
Nice. So, no snow for you.
Yeah, no, it's melting. Thank goodness.
Yeah. We had that in February. It stuck around for us. Oh, it seemed like it would never leave with the ice for almost 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was so ready to get out of it. And then I know, yeah, you all got blasted this last week or so around you all. So, hopefully, with March 1st, and the weather will start to warm up and we'll be into spring.
Yep. We're going to get a couple days of lower temps and then it's going to be up in potentially the 50s. So I am ready.
Yeah. And it's so funny because when it's so low with snow and then you get to 50s, you feel like that's warm. You're like, yes, 50 degrees.
Oh, yeah. Shorts and tank tops.
Oh, yeah. I love it. All right. So we're here today to talk to Layla Lochran about your journey as a writer, what you got coming up in audio, in paper, in, ebooks, what you've produced so far. So I'm excited to dive into this because me and you have met several times, talked a little bit about your works, but I never really got to dive into talking with you about how you got started as a writer and getting more details about what you've published so far and what you got coming up. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So I did a little research on you. You have a 4-book series titled Tell All Secrets. That's got 4 books of Painting Her Fate, Battle Born for You, More for Me, and Like a Wildfire. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then in addition to that, you have 2 other titles, or is there more?
There are more, but they are being kind of reworked into kind of a different type of series.
Got it. Got it. So then the 2 that are published right now, is that Defy the Eye and then Eden?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And then the other ones you're kind of reworking?
Yep.
Perfect. So tell me a little bit about those titles and the series. And can you kind of break them down a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. The Tell All Secrets series starts with Lily and Alexander and painting her fate in Battleborn for You. And they are kind of like a tragic love story, kind of meet by happenstance. He's a military veteran here in the United States in Buffalo, New York area, and she is a Scottish artist kind of making her name in London, and they both have traumatic past experiences in their lives, and they kind of meet by happenstance when she comes over to New York to be with her father, and the rest is kinda history from there. It's like an instant love type deal.
Love it. So the first 2 books, then they read more like a duet, would you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And then it goes into More for Me and Like a Wildfire. Is it kind of like interconnected standalone of those characters that you meet previously on in other books or?
Yes, they are. So, in Like a Wildfire, that is actually Liliana or Lily's best mate, Patrick,
Okay.
and in More for Me, the main character is Shark or Harrison. That is Alexander's best buddy and military brother that he has. And More for Me is an MMF romance, so you get a little bit of everything in there. And then Like Wildfire is a MM romance with cowboys and Scottish bartender.
Yes. And so is Like a Wildfire the only one that's in audio or are the other ones in audio as well?
They are all in audio, yes.
Okay, perfect. Who are the narrators? I know Like a Wildfire, that one's Shawn Masters and Joe Arden. But how about the other ones?
Yeah, so More for Me is Teddy Hamilton as Shark, Lessa Lamb as Avery, and Aaron Shedlock as Miles, or Weston as Shark likes to call him. And then for Lily and Alexander, it is Stella Hunter and Joe Arden. And we're actually going to be reworking those 2 first books to make into one big book, and the female narrator will be changing.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah,
So is Joe gonna re-record his parts or just the female, or is that still in the works?
it's still in the works, but I think a lot of that will be reworked just due to it being back from 2022 timeframe. Everyone has grown as narrators, and we want to explore that.
Yeah, and especially combining the 2 books into one. I did that with my Dustin Hart series because the first 2 books were exactly like yours. They were a duet. And then the subsequent books came later on. So when I put it into audio, I talked to Blue Nose about the same thing. I was like, "How about we make the 2 into 1?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, let's do that." So it's kinda I kinda went along the same thing. And when you combine 2 books, some things change and things like that too. So that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So how about Defy the Eye and Eden?
Yes, so currently those are not in audio. I do have plans, at least for Eden, to eventually be in audio, potentially this year. That's still in the works, but Defy the Eye, that will be kinda remade into a full complete series, and for that character specifically, that book will kinda be intermingled down the road in that series.
Got it. Now, is that a novella?
That one is, yeah.
Okay. And is that also I might be wrong, but is it FF?
There's a whole bunch of tropes in there, so it's
Okay.
kind of like little mini short stories in there.
Okay.
The main character is kinda like a serpent who has this secret dwelling that people can go to, and you get to see all sorts of life and experiences happen there.
Love it. So tell me a little bit about you. How did you get started as a writer? Was it something you always wanted to do? Or is it something that came later in life that you got inspired to write maybe after being a reader? Or how did it all kind of transpire?
Yeah, so I've always really enjoyed writing, grade school, writing the essays, and I always had my nose in a book, and especially the romance genre with Charlene Harris. And, okay, I was maybe 12 years old when I started reading that, um, which, there were other 12-year-olds doing that too. But
Yeah.
I really loved the writing and the whole imagery process of all of that. And essentially, when I was going through my cancer journey in 2015-16, that's when I knew that I needed to get into writing myself.
So you use it as kind of like an escape as while you were going through what you were going through?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Having that different world to experience is, you know, something that most can't experience, and I wanted everyone to experience that different side.
That's amazing. So is that when you wrote your first 2 books, The Painting Her Fate and Battle Born for You, or were you writing something else during that time?
So that was when Painting Her Fate and Battle Born for You were essentially kinda thought up, but I was mainly in the paranormal romance type.
Genre of writing that kind
Yeah.
yeah. So, as a cancer survivor, how long were you battling cancer for? I mean, if I'm getting too personal, you can tell me to shut up at any time, but
No, no, that's fine. A lot of my readers know that I have gone through it, and I'm here to tell the tale, and that's what this experience is all about, and maybe someday I will have some sort of, biography or whatnot, but so it was October of 2015, and it was probably mid-2016 that I had that clearance after my surgeries and everything. And then I actually this February 10th, I reached the 10-year milestone mark for my first cancer experience, so that's back.
beautiful. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and then my second journey, so I've had cancer twice, was in June of 2020, height of COVID.
Oh, Lord.
Everyone's locked down,
Yep.
and I went to the cancer clinic and I knew that something was wrong. So they ran some tests and things and found that I had thyroid cancer. So we're almost at the official 5-year mark for that.
Beautiful. My father is a 3-time fourth stage lymphoma survivor, and he got his second round with it during COVID, and that was a really tough time for everyone, but especially for cancer patients. Like, he had a lot of treatments, and we could not go into the hospital. We could not be with him. It added another layer of distress on everything that was going through. So I'm sorry that you went through that, especially during that time, but it's beautiful that you made it through it, and it's almost been 5 years.
Yeah. The support from everyone, reader wise, family wise, friends, all of it has been the most phenomenal part of the journey. The support has been unimaginable.
Yeah. Awesome. I freaking love that. And it's scary. And so do you think you'll ever have now I have not read all your books, so you can tell me that you've already done this, but do you ever think that you'll write a book, either like you said, biography, kind of maybe chronologizing what you've gone through, or maybe even putting that into characters in a story? Have you had that kind of a trope, or is it triggering for you to put cancer into one of your characters?
So it isn't necessarily triggering. I do have mentions of sub characters or minor characters that have or are going through cancer, especially in Painting Her Fate and Battleborn for You. But upcoming in the Schuster Ranch series with Patrick and August, you will see one of the main characters, the female character will be going through that experience, and I can't wait for everyone to experience that with me.
Yeah, I have a Penny Crane. She had a brain aneurysm and went through several things, and I don't know if you know her story. You might a little bit, just because of being in the audio attic together and people sharing
Yeah.
things. But she's writing a book that very much is kind of like not biographical, not like a biography of it, but the character is going through the same kind of thing she went through, and it's very cathartic for her to write like that. And I've done that myself with mental health struggles that I've had in my life, and I've kind of poured that into characters. So with you and writing this, do you feel like it's cathartic as well? Is there times when you have to walk away from the page after writing a certain scene? I don't know if you've written it yet or not, or just plotted things down, but tell me kind of about walking through that process, or what you anticipate walking through it like.
Yeah, so I actually have already kind of done that with the first 2 books of Painting Her Fate and Battleborn for You. With the military experience, I have family that has gone through that. The I won't get too much into Lily's experience, but she is a child abuse survivor. So I know of people in my life that have gone through experiences of that nature. And this is just another part of that experience that we call life, and putting it into perspective of one certain character or multiple characters throughout your writing experiences. And yes, right now I kind of have a few chapters that are written, but more or less it's just a heavy plot written down at the moment.
Yeah. That leads me into a question I was going to kind of ask you, but we're already talking about it right now. So would you say that, I know some people don't really like to, I mean, they kind of evade it, but would you say that you base your characters off of real people then, or at least pull from life experiences, is what it sounds like?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best place to kind of get your ideas from.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to another author the other day, and I was like, I could even just go people watch. They could be strangers, but I could sit on a bench and just watch how people interact or order their food at a cafe and get inspiration for maybe the way a character does something. But pulling on life experiences, especially. I know some authors don't like to say that they do or they say that they don't, maybe because they don't want people thinking that they're writing about them.
Well, yeah.
But I think that art as itself is we pull from the experiences that we walk through in life. How can you not in order to create, what you create? And then there is part of research processes and everything else that go into it. But at the heart of it, it's the experiences I think that you've had in life. So with that, how is there any books that you've kind of researched for or had to dive more into to kind of research a character or a setting or different things like that?
Yeah, so I am really big into ancient history and, even before the pyramids and Stonehenge. So I really have dove deep into the kind of beginnings of, I wouldn't say Bible, but you have those instances where the serpent and Adam and Eve, and that's kind of where Eden was born. So the rich history of ancient cultures has always been a big deal to research for me. And another trope kind of is rock star romance. I haven't had experience per se for that. So to dive deep, other than being at concerts and things, to experience what it might be like diving into the interviews of rock stars and things has always kind of been my hyper focus this year. And it's a really good experience to get those ideas from.
So would you say those are your favorite kind of genres to write in the romance land of genres?
Yeah, other than the cowboys, of course, the military.
Mhm.
So, other than that, I'm kinda all over the place. I like a little bit of everything, the paranormal, the rock stars, you name it, I enjoy reading it.
So the paranormal. Now you said you kind of started writing the paranormal. Is there any plan to maybe take what you were writing and dive into the paranormal world in the future, further than
Yeah.
maybe you kind of did with Eden?
Yes, definitely. So, there will be a series coming out for kinda the paranormal world of vampires, and there's this ancient virus. I can't talk too much about it, but, you know,
Yeah.
we're we're gonna dive deep on, gifted humans, and there's this whole world that is hidden in the human world that we see, and they're trying to protect the human race.
I love it. And is that going to be kind of like the spawn off of Eden, or is this a completely different series?
This will be a completely different series.
Okay. I'm excited for that. That sounds very intriguing. And I think I'm kind of, I don't think that I had a thought that I was kind of like you being attracted to like the old ancient times and this and that. But I see a lot of it come through in my writing too, like the attraction to Greek mythology or just different things that dive deeper in history. And so I love stories that kind of bring that out and make it present. I don't want to say retell it because it's not really retelling, but just make mention of it and how it can still correlate to today's life and what we all walk through or different other things. So it's really intriguing. I'm excited for that one. So in your writing, do you think that you're more of a plotter or a pantser?
I am totally a pantser. I
Okay.
cannot plot worth crap.
I'll do like little bullet things. Like I'm like, okay, I have this idea, or I have this idea. But if they go off the cuff and my characters completely do something else, it's like, whatever. Like
Yep,
I can't, like the people that have the big boards where they're just like, oh no, this comes and this comes and this comes. I'm like, no, my brain won't stick to it. It might a little bit, but not completely.
yep,
Um,
that's exactly where I'm at.
yeah.
If I have that vision board, we're adding pages upon pages to that vision board because it's, going off into this whole other world that you didn't even know existed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So describe your writing space. Where do you like to write? Do you write at home? Do you write in a coffee shop? What do you do? Do you have a home office? Do you write in like curled up on the couch?
Yeah, so right now it's kind of just cozy couch at home, or I do have a little stand up movable desk that I will, work with on my vibration plate and things. But I have a tiny house to where I have this kind of hideaway that I can escape to. So, other than that, occasionally I'll pop into a coffee shop or the cupcake shop in town and sit there for a little bit. And as you said, kind of people watch and get a few ideas and roll from there.
Yeah. So when you sit down to write, and you're probably going to, I probably already know the answer to this question because you said that you're a pantser, but do you have a set number of words that you try and get in, or do you just kind of flow with the characters in the manuscript?
I cannot, for the life of me, keep a set number every time that I sit down to write.
Yeah.
So it's just go with the flow. If I can get 5,000 words in here and then come back later and get another three, I'm all for it.
Do you force yourself to write ever, or are you more of an author that's like, if the words aren't flowing, I'm not writing?
I cannot, for the life of me, put words in my brain. So if they're there, they will come out onto the keyboard or the paper, but I cannot force it at all. So it's once it's there, I'm going full blore until I can't anymore.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like if I try and force it, I might get 300 to 500 words. But if I don't force it, then I might get 5,000. So we might as well just wait for the 5,000 instead of stressing out over the 300, you know? It's just,
Exactly.
it's not going to work. So what does your family think of your writing when you kind of just said, hey, I'm going to be a writer. This is what I want to do? Did they support it, or have they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are all for it. I have, other family members, they're like, Just don't write about me. That's all I maybe I will, but you won't even know it."
Yeah.
So,
Do they read what you write, or because I know, like, my family, they support me better now than they did, but they still won't read it per se, mostly because of the smut connotation. And I'm like, you guys, like, there might be 45 chapters and only 3 of them include sex, like, and I mean, some books not, some books there's more, but because of it, they're like, oh, we support you, we think it's great, but we just don't want to read it. And I'm like, that's fine, you know. But
yeah.
does your family sort of read what you write every time, or?
Yeah, I have a few family members that have always been there for me and will read it, but my littlest sister, she is, promoting and she's in other book groups and things, so they have all dove deep in the Layla Lochran world,
I love
and
it.
it's fun to collaborate with them and get their ideas and see what they thought about certain characters and scenes and things.
Yeah. Now I'll do that. I will with my girls because they're older. Certain plot points, I'll be like, okay, this, I'll talk things out with them. And they'll be like, well, what about this? And what about that? So I can do that with my girls or with other family members, but they still won't read it, which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, what kind of struggles would you say that you've faced as a writer so far in the space?
Yeah. So, obviously, other than the cancer journeys that I've had, that isn't really a negative experience in the book world, just due to the immense support that everyone offers. Whether you like it or not, they're always there for you. I would say, of course, you see the bullying situations and whatnot, and that always hits your heart really hard.
Mhm. The kind of cancel culture, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my biggest struggle so far with it as well. I would say the other struggle is, I don't know if you've noticed it, it's been the way that the marketing your books has changed. Because when did you publish your first book? What year did you publish it?
22.
22. Okay. So I first published in 2018. So just taking, like, back then we didn't even have TikTok. We didn't have all this kind of stuff. Like, it was Instagram, and it was just, Bookstagram was just starting to become a thing, to then TikTok coming out. And 2022 was great for TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing. But then even from 2022 to now on TikTok is completely different. I used to be able to throw up a video and get sales and whatever, but then became the rise of the influencer. And now it's a completely different marketing tactic that you're having, that I'm seeing at least. And I've been talking to a lot of people this last year, just sort of like, are you seeing what I'm seeing and how much harder it is? And they're all just the same of like, yeah, unless you have marketing dollars to throw behind it, your work, like you're not going to see the sales that you used to, because you used to be able to just post and it could correlate into quite a bit of sales, you know?
Definitely.
So that to me, I'm trying to figure out the way that it has changed and how we can all change with it. Because that has been a struggle, at least maybe not earlier on, but within like the last year. I'm like, oh, this is different. Okay, how do we get ahead of this? How do we figure this out? On top of the cancel culture.
Yeah, for sure.
The cancel culture is one thing where I'm like, oh, you guys, like it's every week, it seems like a new witch hunt. And it's just, I know lots of readers and friends that I have, like they'll go on threads and I'm like, I don't even want to go on threads. Like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I deleted that a while ago.
Me too. I started it, like, I still have one there, but I won't go on there. I think my stuff cross posts to it just because it's all set up within the same realm of Instagram and Facebook. But actually going on and like scrolling through it, I'm like, no, I'm okay. You all just, I have friends who are like, oh my God, they'll tell me the things. And I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to live in the bubble of it all. I just can't. So this is kind of a little bit of questions about you as a reader. Do you remember the first book that ever made an impact on you?
Yeah, actually, let me see. I'm right by my book. Oh, let's see, where is it? The first book, other than what I mentioned earlier with Charlene Harris's, what you would now see as the True Blood series, but the Sookie Stackhouse series. My first initial audiobook experience, other than the tapes of The Secret Garden way back in my childhood,
Mhm.
it was What Doesn't Destroy Us
Okay. Who's that
by
by?
MN4G.
Okay. I've never heard of that one. What about it kind of grabbed you?
Just the suspense,
Okay.
the, you know, you're taking this world of someone else's imagination, and especially being that I listened to the audio that was with Maxine Mitchell and Joe Arden, hearing them put that world to life was, I knew then that I wasn't going to be able to escape this anymore, that this was part of my world now.
Yeah. So as a connoisseur of books, would you say you're more audiobooks, ebooks, paperback? What do you prefer?
I do like to sit down every now and again when I can and open up a paperback book, but for the most part, it's audio because you're on the go in the car.
Running. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have that opportunity to be able to listen a little bit more than you do to sit down and read.
It's really true. And I have like a massive bookshelf where I keep all my books, but my mom said to me within like this last year, and I never thought about it this way. She was like, reading is really a luxury. She was like, being able to sit down, pause, know that everything is done around you, and take, maybe not, but take time to actually read. And I was like, wow, that's really true, because once you get into the world of audiobooks, you are able to consume at a faster rate because we are always running. So most of the time, like I went through a long period of time where it's like, man, I haven't read a book in forever because I didn't have the time to. But getting into audio, I'm like, oh, no, I have the time while I'm doing the dishes, while I'm doing the laundry, while I'm cleaning house, while I'm in my car,
Mhm.
I can listen to a book. And I think that especially, this is the thought that I've had, like, because audio wasn't always as popular, but I would say maybe around 2022, 2023, I could totally be wrong. There was like I saw a rise of it, maybe a little bit earlier than that. And now I feel like it's almost kind of becoming more of the norm. So many more people consuming audiobooks than there were before.
Yes, definitely. I saw it really get big in 2018, 2019. That's when a lot of the Facebook groups really started
Mm.
for narrators and authors. So to see that expand into what it is now has really grown differently.
Yeah. Yeah. And said so many people, yeah, and I took the longest time getting into audiobooks too because I was like, "Ah." And I think it was maybe because I tried some audiobooks that had really, I don't wanna say bad narration, but just not the greatest. And so, especially as an author, when you're creating the worlds and you know the way that you want it to kind of sound or whatever, it was difficult for me. But once you get into some great, this is what I tell everyone, like even my family who are like, "I haven't really gotten into audiobooks. I just don't understand it." I'm like, "When you get the good narrators who can really bring it to life, you'll understand it, and it'll become an addiction." It's a great escape.
Definitely is.
So tell me a little bit. I'm going to kind of go back into your writing. How would you say your writing has evolved since you first started publishing?
Yeah. So actually, with Like a Wildfire's release, a lot of people have come to me, and Joe Arden was actually one of the other people that said that he even seen a huge difference in my writing style from my first book that he helped narrate with Painting Her Fate and Battleborn for You to the now Like a Wildfire a few years later. Me personally, I know that I have grown my writing experiences, and that's all you can do as an author is keep going, keep chugging, and learn from what your past has taught you and go from there.
Yeah. And I think it's just natural to like, one person said to me, I think it was Shell Rose, and it was Penny Crane has told me too. They're like, your first books aren't good. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they're necessarily, I mean, like they're they're not what you're doing now because you're supposed to evolve. If you don't evolve, there's maybe a more of a bigger issue there. But I mean, naturally, if you look at any writer or author over time, they're going to evolve. They're going to get better. They're going to hone their craft, whether you're a writer or a painter or a musician. So I think it's just, there's beauty in seeing the first books and seeing the evolution of a writer becoming better and really kind of embracing their craft and their own personal writing style. So I don't like to say your first books aren't bad or are bad. They're just your first books, they're
Oh, yeah.
what you were able to create at that time. And that's beautiful too. It was you embracing a dream you had for the first time and bringing a world to life.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And editors and things are
Yes.
very important to make sure that you have the proper, capabilities to be able to actually edit
Yeah.
the book.
I tell people I noticed when I got into audiobooks, my writing changed and evolved and became better. There was something about hearing it as opposed to just writing it and kind of hearing the sentence structure or the way things should be in a lot of other books, not just my own, that made me kind of be like, oh, okay, and become a better writer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, well, let's go. Let's kind of go into what you got coming up. So, can you tell me a little bit about your work in progresses that we haven't talked about yet so far?
Sure, yeah. So I did mention, of course, Like a Wildfire will be integrated into the Schuster Ranch series. So that's kind of the first initial book, I would say. So it'll still be connected with Lily and Alexander's Tell All Secrets series, but we're also diving into the country, cowboy world, and you get to see August's family a lot more with his 3 brothers that he has and their experiences and, the ranch hands that are there. So, with August and Patrick, there's another person that they, have relationships with in their past, and you kinda get to see that in the first book.
How many books are going to be in the series? Do you know yet?
So that one will at least be 4. There may be maybe a novella or potentially a 5th book, depending on how that writing structure goes down the line.
Kind of evolves, yeah.
Yeah. But currently, other than that, I have a rockstar romance that I'm in the midst of, and then I have another, like I said, the paranormal romance series that I'm working on. So when I'm not in depth in one, I'm always working on another.
That's a great question. So can you juggle multiple projects at one time?
I can,
Oh,
yeah.
I envy you. I cannot. I'm like, when I'm in one world, I am like engrossed in it. Because if I allow, I think I almost have a little bit of ADD. Because if I go ahead and I allow myself to kind of like look over here, I'll be like, ooh, shiny new project. And then this one will get dumped. And so I've
Yeah,
learned for me, I'm like, I have to stick with one. Otherwise, nothing's getting done. So you can kind of write in one and jump to another and edit another and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
yep,
that's amazing. I think that's a great skill to have as an author because then it allows you for multiple releases and in the future, the probability of it. Whereas me, I'm like, oh, sorry guys, I haven't released anything new in like a year and a half.
yeah, and that's kinda where I'm at, but I really wanted to dive deep into these multiple series just so that I can do that multiple release s
Yeah.
for 2026. So they are you will see a lot in 2026 coming out.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I'm trying. I've never done it before either, but I am making myself stick to a. I want to do a rapid release of a trilogy that I'm writing right now. And I always get so excited. I'm like, oh my God, I finished a book. Yes, let's publish it. Forcing myself to sit back and finish all three and then do a rapid release. I've never done it before and see kind of how that does for marketing and just also to the books because I've noticed that if I publish a book and they go, oh yeah, more's coming in the series, like I just said, I'll all of a sudden get a different idea and then I won't write any more in the series. And so even for me to kind of force myself to stick with one thing until it's done.
Yeah, and I feel like I've really done that with the Schuster Ranch series, so they are almost complete. And yes, I probably should have waited to release like a wildfire, but I had that impatience and I did it. And here we are.
Yeah.
But readers have stuck with me and they are still impatiently waiting. And it will be coming definitely in 2026.
I love it. Yeah, and hey, it gives them a teases. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, this is coming, and so just stick with me, and we'll have a lot in the series. So
Right. Just go listen to Sean and Joe, you know, just a couple more times and soon enough the new ones will be out.
yes, yeah, well, that's awesome. So, what piece of advice would you give to aspiring writers?
Just be yourself. You have this vision, and yes, you are going to want to throw it away multiple times. Just keep going. You have that vision, embrace it, and just be your authentic self.
I think that's it, the authentic self. Because there's so much in that we talk about like even just like writing for commerce as opposed to writing for yourself. So how would you say you juggle that? Because there's a lot of that. There's depending on what author you talk to for advice. I've really noticed you have to kind of decipher where they are as an author. Are they writing for commerce? Are they writing for themselves? Are they somewhere kind of in the middle? Because if you talk to someone who's writing for commerce, they will just tell you, oh, you have to pump out so many books a year, you have to this, you have to that. And their mindset is completely different. And I don't want to say they're not authentic. I'm not trying to say that at all. But there's something to, I feel like you can tell a book where the person is pouring their heart out on the page and writing because kind of the old mindset of you don't see the book on the shelf that you want to read, write it.
Exactly.
So, would you say that, like, how do you balance that as far as commerce versus, because like you said, you haven't really published in, well, you published Eden, but like you said, people are like waiting on you for this next series. So the stress of that even.
Yeah. And I've let my readers know that we are in the process of completing the Schuster Ranch series. So they're impatiently waiting for that. And I want to make sure that it's right and I can give the readers what they want and maybe what they didn't expect. And I will take the time to make sure that it's what I want these readers to have.
Yeah. I
So
I think
commerce is pretty much out of it. I write with my heart wholeheartedly. And when I feel like it's ready to be released, then it will happen.
I think I love that. I have to go back on that too because when I wrote my first series, I was more under the mindset of everyone kind of in KU and, you write for commerce and you just pump them out, you pump them out. The more books you have under your belt, the more money you'll make. And I ended up going back and re-editing those books several times because they just weren't what I wanted. Because
Yeah,
yeah, I was pumping out for commerce. It was like, okay, just pump them out, pump them out, pump them out, gain the readers, pump them out. And it's just like, and then I had to take a step back and be like, this isn't what I want to do. And so like I work full time. Are you a stay-at-home writer or do you work full time too?
I work full time and
Yeah.
then some.
Yeah. So I do the same. And I was talking to someone the other day and they said, they were of the mindset of, oh God, like one day you can stay at home and maybe you could do this full time and then it'll be so great for you. And I'm like, you know what? I never aspire to staying home and doing this full time because I feel like when you do, there's only a certain select number of people who are blessed to do that and write authentically for themselves and just still have it sell and whatever. Maybe they're with trad publishing, but most of them are writing for commerce. And, that's still beautiful if you can stay at home and be a stay at home like writer. But I'm also blessed to be able to work a full time job and do this because then I don't have to rely on it for my sole source of income and I can write what I want. I can make it
And
authentic.
being a hermit can only last for so long.
Yes. So, I mean, so it's a blessing. Like, I'm like, so lots of people be like, oh, it'd be so great and stay at home and that'll be such a blessing. I'm like, it's still a blessing to be able to do what I love and also work. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add? Any upcoming things or anything else that you want to? I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire at the end, but before we get into that, is there anything else you kind of want to add?
I would just like to say that my paranormal series might be under a different pen name.
Love that.
So kind of keep your eye out for that.
Love that.
Yeah. So I will be more or less integrating the Layla Lochran slash whatever that other pen name will be. So I can kind of keep everything as one sole, name. Because the storylines might intercross some way, somehow. So you never know.
Yeah. I wish I would have done that. I didn't, obviously. But
There's
I
still time.
Yeah, I know, but to rebrand it, like everyone like I debated it for a long
Yeah.
time, separated it all. And I think that was a big hiatus that I had from even publishing because I was like, do I stay in the fantasy world? Do I go back to contemporary romance? Do I separate the pen names? And now because things have been published in audio and different other things, I'm kind of like, well, I guess I just have to embrace the fact that I kind of just write a little bit of everything. But it makes it very hard for promotion, especially like I tell everyone going to events, you can typically tell by someone's sign and their table, oh, she writes paranormal, she writes shifter, she writes mafia, she writes fantasy. And people come up to my table and they ask me all the time, they're like, well, what do you write? Because I'm like, well, a little bit of everything, like you can't really, it's hard to market. So I wish I would have done the split.
And that's even kind of the same with writing contemporary versus LGBTQ.
Mm-hmm.
You have that world of just your strict MF romances, and then you also have the MMs and MMFs and FFs and all of that. And some people are like, "Oh, I didn't know that you wrote that. I will read you now."
Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult. The marketing of it, especially when like me and you both were connoisseurs of books. We love to read, but you love to read multiple things. So as a writer, then you're like, ooh, I want to write multiple things. And so it creates, it is a hurdle. I don't want to say it's, impossible, but it's a different kind of hurdle to jump. So I think, yeah, splitting off your pen names, that's smart because I didn't do that. And now I just embrace it. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Whatever.
go with the flow.
Yeah. It's like people just have to understand, you know? It's like I write a little bit of everything, you know. Eventually they'll see. Mm. All right, well, I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire, Miss Layla, at the very end so we can get to know you a little bit better. So, all you got to do is answer one after the other. Just tell me which one that you prefer. So, we'll start with coffee or tea.
Lately, it's been coffee.
Okay. But you like tea as well? You
I
can
I love tea. I am a tea snob.
I can be that too. Do you do herbal tea or do you do like a black and caffeinated and there's a little bit of everything? I'm a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hot dogs,
Okay. Mountains or beach?
mountains.
Summer or winter?
Has to be summer. I hate the cold.
I think especially now, so we've been in it, we're ready to get out of it. Definite, like, because sometimes people ask me after a really hot summer, they'll be like, you know, if you ask me that question, then I might be like, I'm looking forward to some colder nights, but for the most part, no, summer all the way.
Agreed.
Morning or evening?
Early riser.
Okay. I kind of am normally too. So do you get a lot of your writing done in early morning hours, or are there times when you sit up and you'll sprint at night and do a bunch, or does it just depends?
It just depends. Most times lately, it's been early morning,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of times where I will stay up until 3, 4 a.m. writing and take a little nap and get back to it.
Yeah. There's something peaceful about it. Like, I remember one of the bosses that I had in corporate America, he was like, there's something about if you can get up early before your day, you have a busy day. And even if it's like 4 a.m., the amount of work that you'll get done between 4 a.m. and maybe 6 a.m. could be everything that you'd get done in a normal day once you get started running because the world's asleep. So the amount of emails and different things with no distractions that you can get done are sometimes amazing.
Definitely.
So, cats or dogs?
Cats.
Cats. Me too. Do you have any cats?
Yes, we just lost our 15-year-old kitty.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw those pictures. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah. Thank you.
horrid.
He he was such a love, and we have actually outdoor cats that are dropped off in our area that we help out. So they've kind of helped with that.
Yeah. So the one that you lost, was he indoors?
He was indoors, yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna get another one? Or are you gonna wait?
We're gonna wait a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I lost mine over this last summer, and people don't, I think, understand how when they're a part of the family, how much it can affect you.
Yeah, he's been with us, we got him before my son was born, and my son has grown up with him, so it's been,
Yeah.
our little boy is no more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
It is.
I got mine. I did. I ended up getting mine cremated and getting his paws and everything. So it's just they're hard to part with. Like
Yep.
it's just like, man, he was my. And I think I bonded with him more too, especially because we went through COVID together. So like I worked at home, and it was me and him, and that was
Yeah.
it. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yep. Your snuggle buddy.
yep. Well, trying to get on happier topics. We'll get back to
Yeah. Dogs are
salt.
still happy.
Yeah, yeah. Salty or sweet?
It depends, but right now it's kind of been a sour.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go salty for now.
Okay. I know I can get on those sour kicks too, though. Every once in a while, I'm like, mm-hmm. So, do you prefer phone calls or texts?
Phone calls.
Okay. Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Is it dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Ooh, dark chocolate.
Yeah, same. When you're getting dressed, polka dots or stripes?
Probably polka dots.
Okay. City or countryside?
Oh, countryside. I can't do the city.
I could do for a time period, and then I'm like, I'm done.
Being in New York City a couple years ago for Halloween, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I don't belong here.
Oh, that was so funny when we went, and Ava, like, she was like, oh yeah, go to New York, blah, blah, blah. And there came a time where we were walking on Halloween, and we ended up in Times Square. And
Yeah.
she looked at, and we were going to stay out and like walk around and all this kind of stuff. And she looked at me and I was like, "Are you ready to go back to the hotel?" And she goes, "Yes." Like,
Yeah.
like, I was like, "Okay, let's go back to the hotel." And then when we got to Baltimore, I remember the amount of like relief she had. She's like, "Oh my God, this is so much better."
Oh, yeah.
So, like, we've always lived in the country, but close enough, like within probably 30, 40 minutes. Like right now, we're about 45 minutes to the biggest city. But it's like, close enough to where you can go to it when you want to, but you can get out when you want to too, you know? So,
Yep. I'm in ski country. I live just over an hour away from Buffalo, so it's not too far, but just far enough to where I like my seclusion.
yes, yes. So, would you rather stay in or go out?
I am a homebody. I
Yeah.
will stay in any day.
Yeah. As I've gotten older, I don't think I was ever really a super let's go out person, but as I've gotten older, I'm definitely more of a like, I'll just stay in. Like, I don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah, or even like the book events and things where they have all of these other side events happening.
Mhm.
It's okay, I'm gonna be the book mom for a bit, and then I'm gonna go chill up in my room because I
Yes.
can't anymore.
That was the way after New Orleans, when we all went to New Orleans, that's the way I kinda was, and I roomed with Brenna during it,
Yeah,
and I told her afterwards, I was like, "No offense," 'cause I roomed with people when we did, like, a Nashville last March, actually, around this time last year too, and I roomed with people there, and I told her, I was like, "I love you to death, and this is no offense, but the next time that we all go and do things, I will have my own room." And I think it's exactly for that. It's like, I just need that hour or 2 where I can recoup myself before I have to go beyond again, you know?
absolutely.
Mm,
100%.
yeah.
Let's room together, Evelyn.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I have to just, you have to have that time period where
You take a breather.
yes, yes, especially on busy weekends like that where it's one after the other, after the other, after the other, and you're going in the afternoon and you're going in the evening, and it's just bam, 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 bam. It
And
was
that's
wonderful.
exactly how it was.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience, and I loved it, but it was a lot. It was a lot jam-packed into, like, 3 or 4 days.
Right, and I feel like we didn't really get to experience New Orleans
Mm-mm.
as others did,
Mm.
readers and listeners did, just because we were so jam-packed with things that we had to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, well, we went from the talk back. I mean, like, there was, 2, 3 hours between that when it ended and then even going back to the show that night. So and then the
Yeah,
talk back started early in the morning at, 10 or 11, so it's like you wake up, you get breakfast, you go to that, you get out of that, you're pretty much getting ready to go back. Like, it's just which it was beautiful, and I don't get me wrong, like, I loved it. Great experience, but you're exactly right, like, there wasn't much time to kind of just not even just
like,
relax, but explore the city or go do other things.
have some downtime,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So would you rather time travel or teleportation?
Oh, teleport.
That would be fun. Lots of people pick time travel, and whenever they do, I ask them, like, "Where would you go?" And one author I had the other day, she goes, "Oh, I'd go to" she was so precise, "I'd go to 1140 AD." I'm
Huh,
like, "What?" I'm like, "Dang, okay. All right.
yeah.
Cool."
Yeah, I mean, the Crusades and everything were happening.
Yeah. So would you rather a pet dragon or a pet unicorn?
A dragon.
Yeah. That's typically the one people pick. How can you give up a pet dragon? Hmm?
Yeah, yeah.
Would you rather a rewind or a pause button in life?
Mm, I would say probably rewind, not even just for mistakes and things, because you need to learn from those, but just to maybe tell people, "Hey, go get checked."
Mm, yeah. Well, and in it too, I think a rewind is almost like a pause
Yeah,
because you can
yeah.
go back and experience again or do exactly like you said. So would you rather be invisible or fly?
Fly.
Okay. Comedy or drama?
I love a good comedy.
When you're driving, or in a car, are you the driver or the passenger?
It depends, but, you know, typically right now I've been driving because my son isn't old enough quite yet, but I will love once he is old enough, I will be that passenger.
It is always nice when they become drivers. Like my middle child is our busiest one, and she just got her license in November. And she was in cheer and, all the things. So it was back and forth every single day, every weekend. And then all of a sudden she got her license, and it's like, oh, I don't have to take you anymore. This is
Yeah,
nice. You can
yeah.
drive yourself. So fruits or vegetables?
I love my fruits.
Mm, me too, especially during summertime.
Mhm.
Uh, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Okay. Tattoos or piercings?
Can I go both?
Yeah, you can go both. I would say both. I mean, I feel like they go hand in hand. They just one kind of like makes the other one more special, like I would totally
Yeah.
do both. So pirates or ninjas?
Ooh, I love the mystery of the ninjas, but I'm gonna have to go pirates.
Mm. And a game, are you picking the truth or the dare?
Probably the dare. Have to live on the edge a little bit.
Oh God, you're brave. I've been on the receiving ends of one too many bad dares. So I'm like always the safe one now. Oh, I'll just do truth.
Yeah.
So for food, spicy or mild?
Mild.
Okay. And you know what? That's all I got for you, Miss Layla.
Yeah, other than that, I'm pretty boring. I try to keep to myself, but, you know.
Well, you do and you don't. We're in the world that we're in. Like we were just talking about New Orleans and New York and all that. So I mean, we get out, we do things. But I think writing as a whole is you are very much introverts as well. So
Mm.
and reading's an introverted hobby
Oh, yeah.
too. So
Until you get with everyone and they're like, "No, no, 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 this totally didn't happen.
yeah,
Let's go to this."
yeah.
So,
Then
having
you're arguing over the books that you've read. Yes.
you're right, exactly.
Well, I am so excited for all the stuff that you have coming up. And thank you for taking the time to come sit down, talk with me so I could get to know you, your books better. And we've just never really had the time to sit down and do this, knowing each
Yeah,
other the last year or two. Oh God, it's almost been about 2 years, if you can believe it. Time is going so fast. Uh,
yeah, I know.
so thank you very, very much. I know that
Thank
we kind
you
of
so much.
rearranged. Yeah, I had to rearrange this too. So I thank you for being, flexible and jumping on a call with me this Saturday.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing everything you have coming up, especially this paranormal series you're talking about. I'm going to be all over that. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what you have up your sleeve as well.
Oh, I've got some things. I got some things. Let me tell you. We're both going to have an amazing 2026. And I'm super
Absolutely.
excited for it to sharing it with you, Layla. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, I can't wait to share it with you as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You have a great Saturday, and we will talk soon.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.